How are you all? Dave here from KPM Fuel Systems, and I want to take you through our exciting new range of fuel system components today. We've done a couple of videos recently, and we have released our range of fuel systems for the Camaro, for the Mustangs, for the G8 Pontiac, or the Commodore as it's called in Australia, for the Trackhawk, for the Jeep Cherokee. So we are going to have a look at a little bit of tech today. We're going to concentrate more on the Mustang systems. So what I'll do, I'll take you through the Mustang systems we got, and then we'll go on to our tank simulator and just give you a little bit of a rundown on how it works. So just to introduce our Mustang systems, we've got an 800 horsepower Mustang system, which is this one here. That module houses a single Bosch 540 Bosch Racing fuel pump. So that's our 800 horsepower system. Then you've got the choice of jumping up to our 1000 horsepower Mustang system. Now the 1000 horsepower houses, again, two Bosch Racing pumps. They're a 300 litre per hour. So that rates about 600 litres per hour between the two. So that's our Mustang 1000 horsepower system. And then we go to our big boy, which is the 1500 horsepower Mustang system, and that houses two of the Bosch Racing 540 pumps. So you've got the 800, the 1000, and the big boy, which is the 1500 horsepower. Now they're all a remove your standard module and a direct replacement. There is no mucking around, plug in, away you go. Now I just want to explain, I'm going to concentrate on the 800 and 1000 horsepower systems just for a minute. They are a true direct plug-in. What you'll do, you'll take your rear seat out of the Mustang, the 15 to 23 Mustangs, the FM models. Take your rear seat out, pop your standard module out. Your standard module pretty much looks like that. Put the KPM fuel system in there, the 800 or the 1000, either one. Plug it in, away you go. Nothing else to do. This is a direct feed system. It's a modern system, so it's a direct feed as per the manufacturer has intended for the Mustang. So that's why it is a direct fit. No return lines, no messing around, straight fit. We go up to our bigger system, which is the 1500 horsepower. Now don't forget, that houses two big Bosch Racing pumps to be able to run at 1500 horsepower. Now you can do the same thing. You can pop out your standard Mustang fuel module, pop that straight back in, plug it in, away you go. The only problem there is you can't run it off the standard fuel controller. The Mustang has got a fuel control computer that controls the voltage going to the fuel module. Now the reason you can't run off the standard controller is because the controller won't handle the amperage of two great big Bosch pumps. It will on our smaller 1000 and 800, not a problem, but when you get to the 1500, this will come with the wiring that will bypass your controller. What that does though, you've got the opportunity to do that to save a few dollars, but what that does, without a fuel controller, it doesn't control your pressure. So this module will run at full pressure, full power the whole time. Not a problem. The Mustang programming in the computer allows for that, straightforward tuning. But what it does do, on a low tank of fuel, you can heat your fuel up because of the current being drawn by these two great big pumps. So if you've got a quarter of a tank or less of fuel and you're idling around town on a really hot day, you can get your fuel hot, and that can cause hard restarts, vaporization. So what we do recommend on the 1500 horsepower setups and onwards is our KPM fuel system controller. Now that comes as a kit if you ask for it. With our 1500 horsepower, this will piggyback to your standard Mustang controller, and it'll actually do exactly what your standard Mustang controller does, but this will handle 80 amps, whereas your standard Mustang controller will only handle about 23 amps. So it's about 4 times as heavy gauge, meaning it can run up to 4 Bosch Racing fuel pumps. So KPM fuel system controller, PWM controller, housed with a 1500 horsepower system. It is pretty much a direct fit the way we sell it to you. plug it all in, away you go. Full fuel system control at regulated pressure. No need for an outdated return system. Now, what I want to do, I just want to show you the benefits of our KPM Fuel Systems. We've got our fuel tank simulator here. Now what we're running today, we're running our primary fuel module, which is one of these three. In the tank at the moment, we've got our 1500 big boy system running off our controller. We've set it to run at 58 psi. That's about 400 kPa. So we've actually programmed our controller to run at that, and it'll run at that all day long, regardless of how much fuel flow. At the moment, we're only flowing about 188 litres of fuel. If I had to gauge where you'd be on the road on that, you'd be about mid-throttle, accelerating, overtaking a vehicle, 100 to 200 litres per hour on a big V8. That's a decent acceleration. Running perfectly. Now, what I do want you to note is the fuel level. You can see that the fuel level is near empty on this module. It's about a third up the module. What I'm trying to tell you there is you can run a KPM fuel system down to near empty and still have 58 pound of fuel pressure and full fuel flow. That's because it's not a hanger system. It's much more sophisticated. It is as per an OE engineered system. OE engineered systems don't ask you to run half a tank of fuel. Why would you do that? They'll integrate systems, Venturis and so forth, into their design that keeps the module full at all times, regardless of if it's full, if the tank's full, or if the tank is empty. So what we're simulating here is a near empty tank. There's probably only about 2.5 litres in there, or half a gallon of fuel. But what it is doing, our KPM fuel modules have all got 4 Venturis on the bottom. And what that does, that scavenges fuel from the bottom of the tank, keeping that canister full at all times. Now, you can see the canister's full because it's overflowing. It's at 58 pound of pressure and it's flowing 188 litres per hour. Okay, what happens when we go up to 1500 horsepower of fuel? What's it going to do? All right, so what we've got here is a little tap. We're going to simulate 1500 horsepower of fuel. Now, 1500 horsepower fuel, you can work this out yourself. You can have someone work it out for you. In litres, it equates to roughly around 600 litres per hour. So we're at about 188 litres per hour there now. What will happen, we'll run up to 600 litres per hour at 58 pounder. Once we get past the capacity of the fuel system, you'll see the pressure drop. The pumps can't flow anymore, therefore the pressure will drop. But up till then, you'll see the system working perfectly. So let's go up to, we're 188, we're 212, we're 350, we're still at 58 pounds of fuel. Have a look at the module, still cascading, 400 litres of fuel, we're still at 58 pounds of pressure, 525 litres of fuel, still at 58 pounds of pressure, meaning the pumps are keeping up. There's hardly any fuel in the fuel tank, but it's still cascading. The pot's still full, meaning you can corner, you can accelerate, you can donut. You've still got fuel in the pot. Let's max out this fuel system. Let's see where we get to. Okay, we're at 595 litres of fuel, 58 pound of fuel pressure. Remember, 595, 600 litres of fuel equates to 600 horsepower at, 1500 horsepower at the flywheel. Now we're talking about pump fuel here. At the flywheel, we are now supplying 1500 horsepower of fuel. We're still at 58 pound, we're still cascading. Let's max the system out. Okay, see, we're dropping pressure now. We're about 700 litres of fuel, meaning the pumps are now can't keep up, therefore pressure is dropping. Doesn't matter what you do now. So we're still cascading though. It's still keeping full, which is amazing. I'm going to back that off, and we're going to go to your 500 odd litres of fuel, just so I don't run this tank out dry here. There we go. 450 litres of fuel. Who knows? That might be 1200 horsepower. It's doing it seamlessly, it's doing it quietly, it's doing it without effort, it's doing it without voltage boosters, it's doing it without a return system. Now, I don't know why you would do a return system when a factory system is made for a direct system. The factory computer is 100% tunable to direct style system. Even when you supercharge the vehicle, it is very tunable, it's 100% tunable to direct systems. There is no excuse to go a return style system. Extra work, extra parts, and really you don't have the beauty of a scavenging style fuel module like we're showing here. No hangers. This is not a hanger style system. We're not dropping 3-4 pumps into half a tank of fuel, having to have half a tank of fuel, going around corners and sloshing, risking starvation. It's a means to an end, but why would you when you've got a system that works perfectly? Just to wrap this up, we want to talk about return style systems, which I believe in the Mustang society is a big thing. I don't understand why, because we make these for GM, we make these for Dodge, we make these for a lot of different vehicles, European vehicles. No other society seems to want to run a return style systems because they understand the benefits of a direct system. This is what we've got for your Mustang. Every supercar in the world, be it 500, 600, 1,000 horsepower, is a direct style system. They don't make return systems anymore in modern vehicles. Have a think about it. If you've got any questions for your Mustang, direct fit, save yourself some money. Put it in once, put it in for life. That's a KPM fuel system. We've engineered it to put it in once, not to mess around. Have your cake and eat it. Have no fuel in the tank. Why would you? I'll ask that question, why would you? But you can see you can drive around at 58 pounds of pressure, keeping your fuel nice and cool. You can drive around Australia or America on our big highways and freeways with your 1,500 horsepower car. You'll never have to replace your fuel system. You'll never go around the corner and have starvation because you've got a hanger style system. And you won't have wasted money on plumbing a return style system when there's no need. Guys, I thank you for your time. This is a bit of tech on our Mustang. Next week, we're going to go to our secondary side of the fuel tank. What that means is at the moment, we're talking about up to 1,500 horsepower, but our KPM kits are modular. So if you go further on your Mustang power, we've got the opportunity to then bring it all the way up to 2,200 or 2,700 horsepower by utilising your second side of the your saddle tank. Again, direct fit will supply all the plumbing, all the wiring. Your second module will fit into the second side of the tank, and we'll show you how our plumbing, how our controller controls all of this for a trouble-free, hassle-free 22 or 2,700 horsepower Mustang. You could start with your 800 and you can end up with a 2,700 by adding on. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out our website. We're selling all over the US now. These are just taking off for Chevy, for Mustang, for Trackle. We just thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.